Well, can you believe it's been 25 years since this disaster flick came out? Why am I talking about? I'm about to tell you, because it's gonna be hotter than hell once this came out. Let's talk about Volcano! Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name's Doyle, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1997 disaster flick, Volcano, released by Fox. The film was produced by Neil H. Moritz and Andrew Z. Davis. Well, I meant to say it was released by Fox for Fox 2000 Pictures. The film was directed by Mick Jackson, who recently directed L.A. Story with Steve Martin and The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner. The film stars Tommy Lee Jones along with Anne Heche, Don Cheadle, Keith David, and others. The film tells the story of an effort to divert the path of a dangerous lava flow through the streets of LA following the formation of a volcano at the La Brea tar pit. The storyline was conceived from a screenplay written by Jerome Armstrong and Billy Ray and was inspired by the 1943 formation of the Paracutin volcano in Paracutin, Mexico. If I mispronounced that, I apologize. Anyway, while the film may have gotten mixed reviews, it still did pretty well, and this was another pretty decent flick. This is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. And of course, after Independence Day was a success for the studio the previous year, so that kind of redeemed a bit of disaster film flavor, considering that film was more of a sci-fi film. The film was released on this day, April 25th, 1997. Henceforth, it's the film's 25th anniversary. Let's get into the story. In downtown LA, an earthquake strikes. Mike Rourke, the director of the city's Office of Emergency Management, OEM for short, insists on coming to work to help out with the crisis, even though he has been on vacation with his daughter Kelly. His associate, Emmett Reese, notes that the quake caused no major damage, but 7 utility workers are later burned to death in a storm drain near at MacArthur Park. As a precaution, Mike tries to halt the subway lines near the location of the earthquake. LA MTA Chairman Stan Olber opposes this move, believing that there is no threat to the trains. Seismologist Amy Barnes believes that a volcano may be forming beneath the sea. However, she has insufficient evidence to make Mike take action. The next morning, Amy and her assistant Rachel venture into the storm sewage to investigate. While they take samples, another earthquake strikes. Rachel is killed when she falls into a crack that is later engulfed by a rush of hot gases. A subway train derails underground, and power is allied across the sea. In the La Brea tar pits, volcanic smoke and ash billow out, followed by lava meteorites that strike several buildings and cause a fire truck to flip onto its side. Mike helps injured firefighters out of the area. Moments later, a newly formed underground volcano erupts from the tar pits and lava begins to flow down Wilshire Boulevard. The lava incinerates everything in its path and kills 2 firefighters in the downed fire truck. Kelly suffers a burn to her right leg from a lava meteorite and is entrusted to Dr. J. Calder. In the Red Line Metro tunnel, the passengers in the derailed subway train are rendered unconscious by severe heat and toxic gases. Meanwhile, Stan leads his team through the tunnel to the derailed train, searching for survivors. They manage to save the subway passengers, but Stan reaches the unconscious train driver just as the lava reaches the train and begins to flow underneath it. And Stan sacrifices himself by jumping from the train and throws the driver safely before sinking to the lava to his death, which that's easily one of the most cringe-worthy scenes in the movie. Boy, I just couldn't bear to watch that. That was, ooh, sorry, I couldn't help myself. Mike, Amy, and LAPD Lieutenant Ed Fox devise a plan to use concrete barriers to create a cul-de-sac, blocking the lava as a fleet of helicopters dump water on it. As a result, a crust is formed in the lava, making the operation a success. However, Amy later theorizes that the magma is still flowing underground through the Red Line subway extension and calculates that the main eruption will occur at the end of the Red Line at Cedars-Sinai Hospital. After calculating the speed of the flowing lava, Amy and Mike realize that the lava will reach the end of the Red Line in 30 minutes. Yikes. Alright, now for the ending. You know the procedure. Like always, you have 5 seconds to stop the video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below to avoid any spoilers. If you've seen the movie already, please continue on. Thank you, and here we go. Okay, you've been warned. Mike devises another plan to demolish a 22-story condominium building to block the lava's path from flowing towards the hospital and the rest of the west side. The lava reaches the dead end of the subway tunnel extension and bursts out of the ground in a massive geyser. 2 men sacrifice their lives to detonate the final explosive charge by giving the all clear to ignite the charges. Mike then spots Kelly nearby trying to retrieve Tommy, a little boy who wandered off. The two are in the direct path of the collapsing building. Mike barely manages to save them from being crushed as the building collapses. The plan succeeds and the lava flows directly into the ocean. The Rourkes and Tommy escape from the wreckage alive. The death toll is nearly 100 people, thousands injured. In the end, it starts to rain, the survivors heave a sigh of relief, and the Rourkes catch a ride with Amy. The film ends with a view of the volcano and a graphic that reads, Name, Mount Wilshire. Location, Los Angeles, California. Status, active. Accompanied by the opening of the Randy Newman song, known as I Love LA. End of story. So what did I think of Volcano? Well, I gotta say, it's a pretty underrated disaster film. While it's not really one of the best, it doesn't really quite rank up there with good ones from the 70s, like the Poseidon Adventure or even the Towering Inferno, both of which were done by Fox, even though the Towering Inferno was done by both Fox and Warner Brothers. But nonetheless, the film is still pretty good. It does have its moments and what have you. The film got mixed response and what have you. According to Rotten Tomatoes, they say that the prodigious pyrotechnist and Tommy Lee Jones' crotchety sneers at lava aren't quite enough to save this routine disaster film. But hey, that's understandable and what have you. And he even got nominated for a Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Reckless Disregard for Human Life and Public Property, but that lost to Con Air, which I am going to review that later on in June for its 25th anniversary. Well, it's kind of a mixed bag and what have you. I feel like it is pretty good in ways, and this is one volcano flick I'd rather rewatch since I took the liberty of watching Irwin Allen's When Time Ran Out last month for the first time. It was okay, but even with an all-star cast, it wasn't great though, considering it was the short version. I really would love to see the extended version. But anyway, yeah. But nevertheless, it still had a reasonable story. Mick Jackson's direction. The score was composed by Alan Silvestri, who I've known his music from tons of movies. The cast isn't too bad. We have Tommy Lee Jones as Mike, who gives a pretty good performance. Although he would later be in a bigger hit in Men in Black, which I will also be reviewing that later on this summer. Let's see, playing Amy Barnes is Anne Heche, who would also appear in I Know What You Did Last Summer, another guilty pleasure of mine that same year. Playing Michael's daughter Kelly is Gabby Hoffman, who recently appeared in the direct-to-TV remake of Freaky Friday with Shelley Long in 1995. Don Cheadle plays Emmett Reese. Keith David plays Ed Fox. Rest of the cast also includes Jacqueline Kim as Dr. Calder, John Corbett as Norman Calder, Michael Rispoli, who, of course, I do believe that's a guy who would later go on to appear on The Sopranos, as Gator Harris, one of Mike and Emmett's co-workers, and John Carroll Lynch as Stan Ulber, the chairman of the Los Angeles MTA. So yeah, the cast is mostly good, and some of it's pretty reasonable and what have you. So with everything said, it's still a kind of a 50-50 movie. It's a mixed bag. Anyway, the film went on to make 122 million worldwide and became a bigger success on physical media. So anyway, with everything said, would I recommend that film which of course was Volcano? I'd say maybe to be on the safe side, give it a one-time watch. I'd say just play it safe and what have you. Okay? Yeah, that would be the thing to do. Anyway, I think it's still worth a look into. But like I said, just play it safe and give it a one-time watch. The film opened in first place being out Anaconda and Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion, which they happened to open the same day, which happens to be the next film I'm going to review. But anyway, yeah, Volcano again worth giving a one-time watch. If you really want a disaster film that was kind of recent, I'd say then this would be okay to check out. So anyway, if you've seen Volcano, please tell me what you thought about in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me next time when I bring to you a review of the film of one of those films I was just talking about. That would be Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion. So thanks for watching, and if you like this, consider checking out my reviews for these other films. Well, two of the films I also mentioned. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of Independence Day. The upper right-hand corner is my review of The Towering Inferno, or go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of the other film that Volcano beat out, that being Anaconda. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.